Hey, what's going on, man?
Hello, Mr. Gino.
Hey, we are back, baby.
We never left. We are
Unranked and Unhinged. Welcome, man. Welcome, everybody.
Yeah, glad you've come back to join us again.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can tell, we are back at Southport.
Back at Southport. Oh, we don't have the T-shirt.
Bluff City? No, we do not.
Man, we forgot the T-shirt. Sorry. We'll just like throw a logo up there.
Yeah. So I'll say that we are Unranked and Unhinged.
Yes, we are.
Where every birdie deserves a celebration, every fish has a story, and every episode feels like you're hanging out with your favorite people.
Yeah.
Right?
I love it.
So there
I
we
love
go.
it. Hanging out.
Yeah, we're just hanging out, having a good time.
Except the fish you keep. I don't think they have a story.
Well, you can tell a story.
Yeah, you can tell the story
afterwards.
about the fish, but I mean afterwards. But yeah, if I'm sure the ones that we throw back have a story. You're like,
Oh, dude,
you would not believe what just happened to me.
I thought I was a goner.
I know.
I thought that was the big one.
And then this crazy big guy, he kissed me right in the forehead and then just threw me back.
Yeah, thanks. I love him.
I love him.
Today, we're going to try to trade a little bit of fairway for some flowing waters, and try to talk about some fly fishing. So
we're gonna try to talk about fly fishing, but more than likely we're gonna have to recruit some experts.
Get someone over here. You know, so tonight, Tailwater's fly fishing shop is here doing their open advice night.
They're over there.
They're
tying flies, and there's a bunch of them.
You know, maybe sometime we might, try to tie. Personally, I never have, but I tell you, as a golfer, I have to admit that fly fishing it feels kind of strangely familiar.
Really?
You spend a bunch of money on gear. You practice technique that looks easy until you try it.
Oh yeah.
You chase a little target that seems determined to embarrass you.
Hey.
So whether it's a white golf ball or a fish, one of them's going to embarrass you.
One of them's going to embarrass you. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, my buddy Fred has been learning to fly fish here lately.
Oh, cool.
And when it first started, he was asking me questions, and then I realized I don't know anything about fly fishing.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
I took a class.
Yeah.
And I learned how to cast, and that's about it. And then the problem with that is, it seems like most of the places around here, a lot of the creeks and stuff that they fish, you can't cast. You're basically just kind of flipping it out and letting
it just amazes me, and I understand some creeks and little, I guess maybe shallow rivers or something, fish are there.
Yeah, whether you think it is or not.
Yeah, exactly. You see these rocks and you're like, there's fish there. I guess, is it trout, or is it kind of all the fish? And
that's one of the things that if anybody, and I don't know if I've said this before, but if I have, you can delete it and I can just you can put me singing something here. But I actually got a chance to go to the Chattanooga Aquarium, and the coolest thing that I thought about on the Chattanooga Aquarium was the way they started up on the. Am I cutting out, or is it just me?
No, I think the microphone has that. We call it that pitch. When it gets to a certain point, it cuts down.
It doesn't like me.
Well, I think it's the background.
So, if I did this, would that be better?
Probably.
Okay, so I'm going to do the rest of the podcast like this. Yeah. Fish. No, but at the very top of it, they've got multiple floors, and they start at the top like a trickle. And as you go down, the trickle turns into a creek, and the creek turns into a river, and the river turns into a bigger river and a lake, and then it turns into the ocean. The farther down you go. And I always thought that was so cool, but one of the neat things was, at the very top, you're actually looking down on what is basically a tumbling creek. And, you're looking there, and you can look down there, you don't see squat. But then you go around behind, and they've actually got a glass partition where you can see under the water at the same place you were looking down from the top.
Okay.
and it amazed me where the fish were actually sitting, and effortlessly. That's what amazed me was, you would think in these really swift-moving currents that they would be working real hard. Nope, just hanging out, barely moving, just doing their little fishy thing. So, I don't know.
Is fly fishing just creeks?
No, you can fly fish about anywhere. The only thing that's kind of difficult with fly fishing is, and I may be saying this completely wrong, but is deeper depths. It's kind of a waste of your efforts and everything to try to fish deep.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Because you don't use sinkers and stuff like that. They do have a heavier sinking line. There's floating line and sinking line, and there's flies that sit on top, and there's flies that go in the bottom, and there's flies you pull and flies you just sit there.
Right.
So
that's pretty neat that and I think this will probably get me to try it and try to learn it and maybe just understand it. What is it? What are you trying to? I know what you're trying to accomplish. You're trying to catch fish.
Yeah.
But how are you doing it? Do you flick it out there at the same distance every time, or are you reeling it in? Is it kind of like a top water? How you're doing a top water and that thing's moving in?
Very seldom are you and with them it's not reeling it in. It's considered stripping.
Okay.
And you'll actually strip the line back in.
I mean, I have no clue. So.
Yeah, and as opposed to like if you're reeling a line in, it's on your reel. Most of the time when you're fly fishing, most of your line is puddled up around you or floating away in the creek or laying on the bank, or it's somewhere other than in the reel.
Yeah.
When you catch a fish, most of the time you're actually just pulling your line in with your hand, not using the reel.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of fly fishing is mimicking bugs. And, very seldom do bugs kind of run across the top. They kind of float, and they kind of float with the current. Either that or if they're in a larva stage, they'll drop below the surface and then float in the current.
I guess it really kind of determines on maybe the type of water, maybe the current, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty neat. I don't know anything about it, and that's why we're talking about it. And
yeah,
I guess I had this little comment like, why fly fishing? Like
Brad Pitt.
What?
Brad Pitt. That's why you fly fish.
I don't get it.
There was a movie called A River Runs Through It.
Okay.
And Brad Pitt was fly fishing, and it looked really sexy. And so,
what year was this movie out?
It's probably older than you. I don't know. I'm an old guy, but no. Brad Pitt and A River Runs Through It did more for fly fishing than I think anything else has ever done.
All right, good on you, Brad.
So yeah.
I felt like,
you weren't expecting that answer, were you?
I was not. That was all like, what?
Fly, Brad Pitt.
Albuquerque.
No, yeah. And of course it was cinematic. Not only was it, sexy Brad Pitt, but it was sexy, fishy Brad Pitt. With, and just the spray coming off of his line.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Yeah. Even guys were kind of going, okay.
I can do that. Come on, man.
Yeah, I can do him.
Well,
I can do that.
I think, when I was thinking about this episode, and one of the questions was, why fly fishing? And the thing that I came up with was like, does it give someone that feel that you are the one attacking the fish and not the fish attacking you? Meaning, like,
yeah.
Does that make sense? Like,
it does, because you, at this point, you're out thinking the fish.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the biggest difference between fly fishing and regular is live bait. Fly fishermen do not use live bait.
So I can't put
ever.
I can't put a fly in a minnow.
No, and you can't put a big night crawler on the end of your and flip it out there. No, that's a big no-no. So yeah, all of fly fishing is is artificials, and not only artificial.
Well, there's a first time for everything.
But
I'm putting damn minnow. I'm putting a damn minnow on a damn fly fishing.
He's doing flying minnows. I can see the poor little minnow going, wait a minute. I'm on the wrong guy. It's the wrong guy. It's the wrong guy.
What am I doing? What is this?
Yeah. So, yeah, and not only that, but I mean, you all can't see it in TV land, but over here we've got there's 25 guys sitting over here tying flies.
You might be able to hear a little bit in the background, but
Yeah, a little talking and stuff, and it's, they're all talking across the table and they're tying their flies, but they're mimicking bugs.
Yeah.
And the thing that amazes me is, they tie up something and it looks nothing like what you would think a bug would look like until you drop it in the water. And then it takes on a different look, especially from the bottom. Like if it's supposed to look like a certain bug with just certain parts of it touching the water, they can pull that off.
Yeah.
And they can pull that off amazingly with, rabbit fur and rubber bands and, thread out of their underwear.
Well, I'll tell you, the only thing that happened to me is I followed a trout for 20 minutes to only realize I snagged a damn log.
Oh.
I mean, that's fishing.
Yeah, that's fishing. There's nothing quite like, and it doesn't matter to me as much, but I know other people who are very, attuned to fishing, and you get this fish, and it feels like it's a giant fish, and you're fighting, and you're fighting, and you're fighting, and you finally get it in, and it's a carp.
Yeah.
And it's such a letdown to some people. It was like the most terrible thing in the world. I mean, hey, I was tickled with the fight.
Well, you got the car. It's kind of the same thing, and we'll go back to when I started lake fishing, not riverbank or anything like that I done when I was a kid, but when I started lake fishing with our buddy, and so I had bass,
Oh yeah, bass fever.
In my mind. So it's kind of like when I go out there, if I caught a fish and it was a catfish, you feel kind of disappointed. I mean, it's a fish.
It's a bad way to look at it, man. You got to be happy with whatever's on the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's still.
I don't care if it's a snake, which I've caught before.
Yeah, I mean, like Bart said, you're still catching fish, and it was fun.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it was fun reeling that catfish in.
Yeah.
But getting into fishing, I was like, I don't.
Yeah, it should be a bass.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, man, you gotta kind of have I don't know. I guess a fishy brain.
Yeah.
To not be let down by that. These guys over here too, and they'll even tell you they tie carp flies. I don't know exactly what a carp fly is, but I heard them talking about it.
Yeah.
To me, it should look like a cheese doodle. To me, that's what a carp would eat.
Is it the hot and spicy, or is it?
No, just the puffs. Yeah, that's just the cheese puffs.
I love those hot and spicy cheese puffs.
Yeah, they're pretty good. And it's like
good.
chili cheese Fritos. Boy, we've gone down a whole different path with this, haven't we? This is our food review. Yeah. Chili cheese Fritos and hot spicy cheese puffs.
Yeah.
And I think the reason I feel that is growing up, we used to keep our boat at one of the local marinas, and they used to go buy the dregs or the leftovers from the local potato chip place. And it was cheese doodles that they got in these boxes that you could put a refrigerator in.
Yeah.
And they would bring them out to the edge of the boat dock and just dump them. And some of the biggest, craziest looking fish you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Now you've got to put a quarter in the machine, and then you chuck about a handful out there, but still big fish, you see.
I do real well at Bass Pro Shop.
I remember seeing that in the paper. And in the post office.
Yeah.
On the wall, yeah.
I tell you, though, going back to cheese, I remember a story when I was a kid. Obviously, most people that know me, I do not like mayonnaise.
Unless you dip a mushroom in it.
No.
Everybody,
Absolutely
if you get a
not.
chance, send Gene some mayonnaise encrusted mushrooms.
Absolutely not.
He'll be so happy. That would be a good Christmas
Absolutely
present.
not. So when I was a kid, me and Dad would, go fishing. I remember, taking some sandwiches, and Mom made our sandwiches, and we started eating our cheese sandwiches. I'm like, man, this cheese tastes bad. It tastes like, like it was rotten. And I was like, not that it was bad cheese, maybe from the heat or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out it had mayonnaise on it. Well, we started using it for fishing.
Oh, there
Yes.
you go.
We started using it, and we had some good luck.
Oh yeah, when we were kids, we'd always, if you couldn't find worms, you'd just go steal all the ends off of the bread loaves.
Yeah.
And
That's all
fish
we
with
did,
bread,
and-
light bread.
Again, I don't want to get off topic. I don't know exactly where that mayonnaise thing come into play for me when I was a kid, but I was, 7 or 8 years old at that time, and didn't like it then.
Didn't like it then.
So, yeah,
That's me and Beets.
yeah.
Yeah, they're.
I'm gonna brew a Beats L.
We just got a visit from
Ashley,
at
South Fork
South
Tap House.
Fork Tap House, and Ashley has just informed us that she put the Zool PB&J on tap.
PB&J. Guys, go back.
good
How long has
stuff.
it been? Has it been about 3 months since we've been to?
Yeah, 3 or 4 months.
Back to Knoxville, go back,
Yeah.
watch our episode at Zool.
Yeah.
We talked about this before we started. We reviewed a special Bassmasters Pilsner.
It was a Bassmasters Pilsner.
And we did have the PB&J there, but
We were
didn't
drinking it off camera like fish.
like it was going out of style.
Yeah.
It's like fish eating flies
Yeah.
with
carp eating cheese puffs.
hot and spicy cheese puffs.
That's only the hot and spicy carp.
Is it got a bikini on?
That's right. Hot and spicy.
Flapping the tail at you?
That's
Come
right.
and get me, honey.
Hey, come and get me. I love this. Is going to be a great episode. I can't wait. I love it.
Well,
Although
the cool thing is, man,
Yeah.
you and I talked before, we really kind of got started recording.
Yeah.
And, what we're going to talk, as we always do, we always talk about, what we're going to say on air, and,
Yeah.
what's the topics. And we're kind of, we had some topics, but we're kind of winging it.
Yeah.
You know-
Contrary to popular belief, Gene and I don't live together.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of times, we haven't seen each other since the last podcast when we finally get together.
Well, it has been a week, and here comes our drink. Hang tight.
Ooh, smell. This is kind of, we're doing a beer review now before we're doing a beer review.
This is not the beer review, but it is a beer review.
The smell of it,
All right, let's go ahead. Let's do it.
Okay.
We'll do two because I've got another one.
you got another one. We're going to be toasted by the time this is over with.
So this.
Right off the bat, you smell the peanut butter.
Oh yeah, Zool. This is Zool. So guys, I know
Zool.
you've had it. It's getting around. It's popular. But yeah. So for me, I smell both of them. It's wild how you can get the peanut butter and the jelly on the smell.
To me, I smell. It reminds me of being a little kid and getting grape juice.
Yeah.
It's got a like a little Weiler's kind of.
So let me go back up. Obviously, the jelly part, the grape, is 100% there. You can absolutely smell it. And the hardest part about this, I know what it tastes like. I know what's in it.
Yeah.
So trying to say something. Is there peanut butter smell? Maybe, but it's like I know it's there.
See, when I first come to it, I'm kind of like
Yeah.
peanut butter, and then it's kind of like when you dig down in it, when you really get your nose wet, it's like, oh, Weiler's grape jelly.
But we're going to do it anyway. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, buddy. This is our pre-beer review. Beer review. We didn't even hear a sound, and we're still drinking. Cheers, you guys.
Dude, it's like, beer is, beer is to have sit down, have a good time.
Yeah.
It's kind of harsh, if you will.
Yeah.
But I like it and you like it. But this one is like, it's like I'm drinking soda. It's just
Yeah.
like
You don't get that real alcohol burn.
even though I think it's 5%, I think, which is a pretty stout beer.
See, I just catch peanut butter, especially after that's really, it's almost like the first dip back.
Yeah.
When you've taken a drink and you've stepped back a little bit, and then, I go back to it and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, peanut butter.
Well, we will continue on with our episode, because if not, we will absolutely chug this thing.
And I hate to say, but everybody makes fun of me because they say I drink beer like medicine. But I do. I always get a big mouthful and wallow it around a little bit.
That's
in
all
there.
right.
But
So where were we?
we were fishing. But speaking of that, like I said, I am not the expert on flies. So maybe in a little bit we'll see if we can recruit a true fly fisherman.
Yep.
We got a guy in mind. He's a guy that you all have probably seen on YouTube or whatever.
On,
We'll see if we
Instagram,
can,
social media, but-
Instagram. We'll see if we can get him over here and talk to us.
So here's I don't know if it's changing gears or not, but and I know you know this.
Okay, I'll do my best.
It's the TVA generation info.
Yes.
So we're going to pivot just for a minute.
Okay.
On the I feel like it's the tech tip of the week.
Dun dun dun.
Because if you're fishing anywhere around East Tennessee, especially Boone,
Yep.
South Holston, or maybe even Watauga, there's one term that you have to absolutely master, and if you don't, you'll ruin your day, right?
Oh yeah.
Which is generation release.
Generation. Yeah. Are they generating? That's when are they generating is the term you'll hear over and over and over again.
And I guess it's that could if you got up and said, man, I'm going fishing today, and you find out that they're generating, you're like, well, this ruins your day. But most fishermen probably know it.
Fishermen's. Fishermen's. I was a fisherman's.
But I create.
Okay.
Look, Webster has nothing on me.
That's right, man. You are the creator of words. You are a wordsmith. Okay, so
But yeah,
anyway, yes.
And we're back.
We never left.
Yeah, fishermen, that's something that they really pay attention to.
Oh, yeah. Well, and around here, it's not only because it'll ruin your day, it'll ruin your life.
Yes.
The closer you are to the dam, the faster it comes upon you. The farther away you are from the dam, you can kind of almost tell a little bit before it happens. You'll see a little bit of subtle raise to the water. But if you're closer to the dam, maybe around the corner, down below the weirs a little bit. Now, the weirs changed the flow a lot, but I remember growing up that you would hear it. And it was, it's like a train coming.
Yeah.
And you would look back and you could see, a 6-inch kind of a roiling kind of water. And if you were out in the middle of some slick stuff, you better be getting to the side pretty quick.
Isn't there sirens or isn't there some kind of alarm?
There is a horn that's supposed to go off and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, the easiest thing is generation schedule.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I read that and I thought it would be a good little subject, for our listeners. I think, to break it down to two scenarios, actually there's an app. I think, there's
nowadays there's an app for everything.
But back in the day when we were younger and fishing, obviously not so much. But
You'd have to call.
Yeah.
Yep, because it varies. I mean, it's not something that is a set schedule. It varies on how much power is being needed.
Well, I'm just curious now. Like, obviously the lakes. Well, I say lakes. The one that I pay attention the most because I drive by is South Holston.
Right.
It is not at level.
Right.
It's guessing from the roadside, probably still 8 feet,
Yeah.
something like that. I think that back in, I think March or April, we still had a cold spell, and they had to generate, and now you're looking at, well, here we are in 90-degree weather.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much of that they're generating for, air conditioner use, but I'm sure they are, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, summer is a hard time on power, and and a lot of times what you'll hear is people say, "Well, it's been pouring down rain around here." Well, that's okay, but a lot of the rain that hits the ground doesn't really affect here as much as it does farther down.
Right.
It takes it a while to get into the ground and into get into the streams, and then from the streams to the river, and from the river, and pretty soon, even though it has rained here, a lot of the rain that hit is affecting lakes down below us.
Sure. Yeah.
But I don't. It's kind of odd. You think about how lake levels are affected by generation or drought or whatever, and I guess we're lucky because we don't have the our lakes don't have the responsibility that some of the ones out on the west coast do with some of the major cities and water supplies and stuff, but
well, I think talking about the scenarios, scenario one, zero generation.
Yep.
The gates are closed, the water's low, it's clear. It's slow. If you're a fisherman who likes to wade, on foot. This is kind of the golden window.
Yep.
You can easily walk out in the middle of the river channels. And on the flip side, there's an active generation. Scenario one, sometimes when more generators kick in, there's like you said earlier, there's a stream, and it's kind of, a deep running river, in a matter of minutes.
Well, and I have never done this, but a lot of the fly fishermen prefer that because that's the time that they use these high drift boats. And so they'll put in below the weirs, and they'll take the drift boats all the way from there, all the way down to basically where we are right now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they'll pull out over here.
Yeah. Well, like I said, TVA, has a lake info app. Check it out. They have their release times for the day. So kind of plan your trip around, the water flow, not just your free time.
Oops, that was me and my phone. Sorry.
It's all good.
But yeah, that'll be a question we'll ask our interviewee soon.
Yeah.
And that is, what do you do when they generate?
Yeah. I think we have,
pack up and go home, or
I think that's what we're going to ask this guy. A couple of things we'll ask him. About one thing, the generation. And I think I'm going to hit him up with that rapid fire.
Oh, cool.
I think he should be able to answer these, and it's just a kind of cool little thing.
Gene did this really cool rapid fire fly fishing thing, and he asked me out of the first 8 questions, I could answer one of them, and he's like, "Just come on, man.
Come on, dude.
I thought you were a fisherman." I am a fisherman, but I don't know anything about fly fish.
Right.
Fly fishing is an art.
I can see that. Kudos to them. They, like I said, I think everything is. I'm not gonna say tempo. Golf is tempo. I mean, maybe fly fishing is tempo. You've got tempo. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But
well, do you want to talk a little bit about golf, and then we'll go over and try to recruit somebody, or do you want to? Before we get we're going to do our golf thing before we see if we can recruit somebody. So, Gino, you've got some golf stuff going on.
I do. We so APT is starting to wind down. We have, as far as my East Tennessee chapter, we have 4 tournaments left.
Really?
And I am in second place for Player of the Year.
Nice. Go, Gino.
So I've got to really pick it up. I'm I think 200 points behind, but that's 200 points is not a lot.
Gotcha.
So the next tournament for East Tennessee will be in Lake Tansy in Crossville.
Okay.
Which is
next weekend.
Next weekend, which
will probably be this weekend.
It'll be this week, yes.
Yeah, for the
it'll be on the 19th. But this week, I'm going to go to we're going to go to Cherokee, North Carolina. It's we have our local chapters, and then we have the national chapter,
right.
Which we consider majors. And we're going to Sequoia National Golf Club in Cherokee, North Carolina.
I haven't heard of it.
I haven't either. I'm expecting a great course, or they wouldn't have it over there for the last 4 years.
Gotcha.
But one guy I remember playing with a couple weeks ago in Myrtle Beach said, "I hope you're a goat."
Oh no!
Yeah,
very hilly.
Yeah. So,
wow. That was the one thing that I noticed that seemed to be missing from the last tournament that I went with you on. Was it seemed like it was, what do you call it, a links course?
Mm-hmm.
Very
links.
Kind of flat and long.
Was that the Charlotte one, or was it the Myrtle? Was it
Charlotte.
That's the last one you went.
Yeah, I think Charlotte was the last one I went to.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like it. That doesn't bother me, but it's kind of like I want the unknown going into this tournament. But that's fine. I understand it's hilly and it's probably tight and.
Well, it's more up your alley.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you'll get a benefit where some of those guys who were down around the North Carolina, Charlotte area were used to those courses.
And that's the thing. These guys in the Charlotte and the Myrtle Beach and chapter, kudos. They're good golfers.
Yeah.
They are, and it's really helped my game. But they play in a different type of golf courses too.
Yeah.
It's a different type of grass and from what we're used to, or not used to, but it's what we have here.
So why? So if your season is ending, what I would consider late spring, early summer, when does it start back?
So the season 4 tournaments means it's about 2 months from being over. So in September, the what do you call it? The national end of the year tournament. I can't think of the name of it, but anyway, it's in Phoenix, Arizona this year.
Oh wow!
Last year it was in Florida, and I went to that one.
I remember when you went.
Cool as
to that
crap.
one.
I love to go to. I want to go to this one, but it's going to be hot.
Yeah.
But I can handle that. Take care of myself, but it's in Phoenix. I've never been. I'd love to go, but we have other plans.
Oh.
But it's in September. I think it's September 11th, 12th, something like that. But I still have the local chapter. I can still get Player of the Year. We'll see what happens in the next couple months.
So how soon before the next season?
It'll start in October.
Wow, so you really don't have a break?
Not really. They'll have so you'll have the national. It's September 11th, and then they'll have like the seniors after that, and then there'll be a couple of 3 weeks of a break.
Yeah,
and then they'll start, especially East Tennessee, because probably from November's hit or miss. And then December's definitely hit or miss.
Oh, definitely.
And then January and February's hit or miss. So there could be 4 months of East Tennessee not playing golf. So they'll kind of jump on that pretty quick.
Okay.
And in the meantime, if there's nothing in East Tennessee, I'll pick somewhere else to play. A lot of times I'll go to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
Even though it still can be cold and snowy. We've been down there when it's been like that, but. So you can just kind of pick and choose. It's great being in this league, and just kind of pick and choose where you want to go, how far you want to travel.
So far, what's been your favorite course on the East Tennessee?
On the East Tennessee, probably, I would say there's probably a couple of them. So in down towards Chattanooga, there's not Chattanooga, sorry, down to Crossville. There's a Cumberland. State Park, if we've heard of it or not, but there's a couple parks down there, super nice.
Yeah.
I do like Lake Tansy.
So you've played Lake Tansy before?
I have. I've played it twice, and it's up against the lake, and not the heart of the lake, but it's kind of like up in a cove.
It's even better.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. You know, the cool thing is like there's a hole that you're teeing off. I think it's a par 3, and in the time we play, not this time, but like in the summer, there's boats everywhere.
Oh,
and,
wow.
and you got these guys and girls and just everybody just yelling and. You know,
Oh, how funny!
It's pretty neat. It doesn't bother me. Some people get irritated, but like, listen, you know, have a good time. I don't, you know.
I think that would be really, you know.
I mean, what am I going to do? Go out there and be like, oh, shut up.
Well, but you and I both played baseball, and can you imagine if it would have been required for everybody to be quiet while we were batting?
Yeah.
You know, we're used to everybody screaming and hollering and obscenities and everything else, and even the catcher, you know, making fun of you. And,
Well, I think the difference on golf, like if there was noise going on, let's say there's noise going on, whether there's people talking, and you walking up to the tee and that's going on,
right,
is one thing. But when you walk up to the tee and it's silent, and then something kind of like comes out, you know, whether it's that's where it kind of
distracting.
Yeah.
Well, you know, to me, like if I walk up to the tee and we're all talking and kind of, you know, and then everybody goes silent, I'm like, I'm freaking out. Like somebody make some noise, please.
I'm looking forward to this weekend. We're leaving tomorrow after work, and we're staying there in Cherokee, and maybe go a little bit of gambling.
That's what my golf game is every time I go play. Hey, tell us about your golf shirt.
So tonight, no golf today.
No golf today with a sad face.
That's
Gino with a sad face.
That's Mama's shirt.
Oh, is that one?
That's a Mama shirt.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get my mom to buy me some shirts.
Yep.
Hey, I got some questions for you.
All right, man.
Rapid fire.
Oh.
Yeah. So, you know, let's just, so I don't know if you got time, you know, if I should like count down, but I'm just going to shoot them to you and you try to.
I'll answer. Quick.
Okay. So I'll give you a question and then give you 2 answers and you tell me which one you like the best.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Let's hit it.
Okay. First tee nerves, calm or chaos?
Oh, absolute chaos. Yeah.
Okay. Fade or draw?
Draw.
Draw.
Yeah, I love a draw.
Love a draw. I figured this was hate things. Okay, so you hate a fade.
Yeah, for me, it's just there's more distance in the draw.
Okay. All right. So would you rather miss left of the trees or right of the bunker?
Oh my God.
That's kind of.
And you know I don't like bunkers.
Oh,
just because my confidence is not. But it depends if it's in the fairway bunker. I'm going to say bunkers because I'm going to say it's a fairway bunker.
Okay, so you'd rather be in the bunker than in the trees.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
If it's next to the green.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
What if you have like a 5-foot window in a perfect straight line all the way to the hole?
In between 2 trees?
Oh, but like 80 trees. Yeah. But you can just sit there and it's just like a perfect laser.
Have you seen that pinball where it just ding 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 ding? That's all it'll be.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. When you miss a ball, what do you hate worse, hitting it thin or hitting it fat?
Oh, hitting it fat.
Really?
I hate hitting it fat. It's so embarrassing. You know, at least when you hit it thin, it can take off running. So.
Yeah, you kill the people on the next tee.
That's right.
Or a TV.
Yeah. Max.
All right, so let's see. If you could only pick one club in your entire bag and you had to play the whole round in a scramble with it, what would it be?
Oh. 7-iron.
7-iron.
Yep.
You and 10 cup, huh?
I would 10 cup that thing. My last ball.
Well, hey, I'm right there with you. There are times when mine would be a 6 hybrid.
Well, just think about it though. Like, you know, if you can, let's say average. You say you hit 150 yards.
Yep.
You know, on a par 4, you're probably on, or at least at the green.
Yep. In a couple and a half.
Yes.
I love it. And
Yeah.
then you can putt with a 7-iron
Yeah.
if you have to. You can chip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. All right. I'm looking. I'm
right.
sorry. Okay. Since you love bunker shots so much, is it confidence, or do you lack confidence, or is it just you're afraid?
I think it's confidence. Definitely in a bunker, green side bunker. It just is. It is confidence. You know, you have to trust your swing, and I'm just not great at it, so it is confidence.
Okay. Breakfast ball. First tee mulligan. Legal in spirit or morally complicated?
Absolutely legal. Let's have us a breakfast ball.
Let's have a breakfast ball.
You know, I mean, we're not professionals. We don't get to play the courses the day before. You know, a lot of times we'll just roll out in the car and hit them.
Yep.
And so if it takes me the second ball, I'm in.
All right. So chip or pitch?
Chip or pitch? I'm probably going to pitch.
Pitch? Second guessing.
Yeah. I mean, well,
Rapid fire.
Okay, chip.
Chip.
I'm going to chip.
Okay. What's the difference between a chip and a pitch?
Distance.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Distance. You know, chip is going to be kind of, kind of around the green, and you chip, and it's a little higher, higher off the ground, and pitch is, you're trying to get it just a run.
All right. So 55-degree wedge or Texas wedge?
55-degree or Texas wedge. The Texas wedge is my foot.
No, Texas wedge is your putter.
I'm just kidding. I'm going to use my foot, guys.
Guys, he's going to use his foot.
Oh, 55-degree or my putter. Believe it or not, I'm going to take my wedge.
Are you? Phew, man, give me a putter any day.
Yeah, it's
That's
great.
'cause you can hit your wedges.
Yeah, I mean that's where the confidence. Like if I had a wedge around the green,
Yep.
I've got the confidence now. If it's in the bunker, I don't have that same confidence. But yeah,
Okay. If you had to give up one group of clubs, would it be your woods, your irons, or your wedges?
oh gosh, it's probably going to be my woods
Give up the woods. That makes
because
sense.
I can play any course. Well, I won't say any course. That's stretch. I can play most courses with my irons.
I
Yep.
love it.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'll let y'all flick that one. That's good.
All right.
Pretty
Cool.
cool.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
That's rapid fire, man.
And he did good. There was no right or wrong answers, by the way.
No, it's just a little fun thing.
It's just-
Well,
yeah.
but I
Yeah,
think
that was originally what we were going to do for fly fishing, and I was like, huh?
yeah. I think
Oh.
let's take 5, and
Okay.
we'll try to.
Is there anything left golfy you want to talk about?
I don't think so. We come in here today, talking about fishing, fly fishing, and I just want to let people out there that listen to us, hey, we're the tournament we got coming in, and just kind of keep that APT going.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah,
No.
everybody knows that I'm going to Cherokee, North Carolina this weekend, and
Yep.
but
And we need like a leaderboard, a Gene leaderboard thing
yeah,
to show how you finish.
all right,
That'd be cool.
I'll do it. So
All right, so let's go see if we can recruit us a true fly fisherman that can answer questions.
I love it.
All right, be right back.
All right, man. We're back, and we brought a guest in with us, and I'm gonna let him tell him who he is and where he's from and what he does, man.
Awesome. So I'm John Laros. I own Tailwaters Fly Company right over here in Bluff City. Own and run a fly shop.
So you do have a fly shop, and one of the reasons we kind of came down here tonight was you guys are doing some fly tying. And it seems like a very popular, and people seem to enjoy it. I fish, but I don't really do fly fishing. So like, how did you get into fly fishing?
So I got into fly fishing. My grandfather fly fished, and he passed away when I was probably 5 years old.
Okay.
And we're going through his estate or whatever, kind of picking out what the family wants or whatever, cleaning things up. And I picked up bag of feathers and a box of tools and that kind of thing, and took them home. And I was 5, and my parents just wanted to keep me occupied, and I started tying flies and figured it out from there.
Did you know what it was when you?
Absolutely no clue. I just knew my grandfather did it, and I wanted to do it. And I fished at that point. I grew up fishing, but never fly fished.
That's pretty cool because we have talked about how we both got into fishing, or kind of how we got into golf. It's always our fathers or our grandfathers or something that has done that. So so one of the things that we have talked a little bit tonight is there a learning curve of reading the water? In fly fishing. We understand, with fishing, but fly fishing is a little different, unique.
Absolutely, 100%. And even this particular area versus other parts of the country and other areas. So I grew up in Washington State. I moved out here. I moved out to North Carolina probably 2009, 2010, 2009 to be specific.
Yeah.
Came out here 2009 or 2010 to start fishing. And back where I grew up, fish held in very different waters. So a lot of anadromous fish, which means they live in the ocean a lot of their life. They swim up into rivers to spawn and that kind of thing. And they're basically kind of swimming into pools, holding, trying to maintain their body weight, stay out of the current, kind of maintain for the most part. And they're there for one reason, and that's to spawn.
Yeah.
Fish here, very different. So for example, right now, we've got great hatches going on. Bugs are there's all these bugs that live in the river. They hatch as eggs. They grow up as like little nymphs crawling around the bottom. They swim up to the surface. They fly around. They mate, lay eggs again, and the life cycle continues.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of that stuff happens in riffles, which are very fast, shallow parts of the river. And so fish swim up into these very shallow, fast areas to feed. And a lot of people walk up to a river and they're looking for a deep hole.
Okay.
Well, in the South Holston Watauga River, that works during certain parts of the year. Right now, we're in the summer. There's a lot of bugs hatching. Those riffles, there's oxygenated water from stuff falling over rocks or whatever.
Yeah.
And fish like that shallow water. And so when I first moved out here, I was looking for deep holes. I was looking for kind of the backside of pools. A lot of fish were like up in this super shallow water that I wasn't used to. So it's completely different.
Well, that's what we had said tonight, like with little creeks or little rivers that's shallow. It amazes me that fish are there. It's so shallow. Like, how can the fish be there? What are they doing? And like I say, I do a little bit of fishing. I'm more bass fishing, on the lake. Not that I'm great at it, but I play more golf than anything. But so is there a particular fly that you'll have in your box that like this is my go-to?
I've probably got, I'm gonna say a dozen patterns. It maybe a dozen, it may be 18, but I try and keep it like fairly tight. But even within that, I'll have, let's say I've got one fly pattern that works extremely well for me.
Yeah.
I'll fish like 4 different sizes.
Yeah.
For subsurface flies, I put weight in my flies, and so I'll even for the same size fly, I'll have like 3 or 4 different weights. So if I'm standing in a shallow riffle at the very shallow fast part, I'll be fishing kind of a lightly weighted fly. If I'm further down where the current kind of slows down and deepens or whatever, I'll fish like heavier flies. So I mean, I'll fish one pattern. And one thing that's difficult as a fly shop owner is everyone wants to walk in and say, hey, what fly should I tie? I want one fly. I want to walk out of here with 1 or 2 or 3 flies. I'm like, I can do that for you. I'm going to do my absolute best. But if you look at my box, I've got one pattern, but I've got it in, let's say, a size 16. I've got that size 16 in 3 or 4 different weights. And I've got the 18 in 3 or 4 different weights. I've got the 20 and the 14.
Well, it's kind of like, all the outdoor stuff, whether it's, bass fishing, like I said, I play golf, even fly fishing, it's, you can't say, well, this set of clubs is going to get you to shoot par. This fishing rod is going to guarantee you a big bass. Same with the trout and all that. But it's funny how they all kind of intertwine with each other.
Yeah.
So I do know that like bass fishermen, and they'll have 3 or 4 or 5 rods on the boats. Is fly fishing? Is it like one rod, or is it is there a different
We live in a amazing area to fly fish, and I'm doing a fly fishing 101 class, and one of the main points of the class is I love teaching people in this area who don't fly fish to fly fish, because it's an amazing area. People travel here from all over the country to fly fish out here.
Yeah.
And I kind of give the analogy, it's kind of like living in Nashville. Like, you should probably try listening to country music if you live in Nashville. If you live here, you should probably try fly fishing. It may not be your jam, but just give it a go.
Give it a go, yeah.
So in this area, people travel out here for the trout fishing, and we've got amazing numbers on the South Holston and Watauga River. We've got huge fish in both rivers. It's really hard. It's really technical, but giant fish are caught out here every year. We've got stripers, we've got smallmouth, we've got largemouth, we've got carp, we've got muskie, we've got all kinds of different stuff. And so we've got an amazing. So when you ask me like about setups and stuff, I feel crazy because within the last 3 days, I've fished for stripers, I've fished tiny flies with light leaders, nymphing, and there's this kind of competitive technique called Euro nymphing that I do. I've dry fly fished on the South Holston, and so I've used all kinds of different setups within like a 24-hour period in all kinds of different flies. I've got my vest, I'm taking boxes out, throwing them in the car, grabbing other ones, throwing them back in, and just switching up like sizes and everything else.
I wouldn't mind actually trying it. I think, we have a buddy of ours, he passed away a few years ago, that really kind of got me into lake fishing, and he was a aggressive bass fisherman. And I did a lot of creek bait fishing and all that, but so I had kind of like the bass fishing on my mind when I went with him, and but I would love to try some fly fishing sometime. But here's one question: like, if anybody is listening and has never picked up a fly rod, what is the one thing that you would tell them to like give it a try? What is it? Just give fly fishing a try.
I'd probably say a couple things. One thing is people always say like, I'm not patient enough to fly fish. Seems like there's requires a lot of patience.
Yeah.
And with anything, golf, any sport, there's a learning curve, right? So if I don't golf, if I went out and tried to golf, there's a learning curve, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of patience, there's not a lot of patience in fly fishing. It's a frenetic sport. So I'm standing in the river. If I'm not catching a fish in a few casts, I'm stepping upstream, I'm stepping out, I'm stepping back, I'm changing flies, I'm changing my leader, I'm changing my tactics, and it's like every single cast you're doing something different.
Yeah.
It's not like casting out, waiting, and kind of just waiting for a fish to come take. Right. Every single minute, every single 30-second interval, I'm changing something if I'm not catching a fish.
Okay, so let's change gears here for a minute. We talked about this earlier. The one thing that I'm sure you got to pay attention to is when TVA is generating. That's a big thing.
100%.
You have to understand when they're generating. We obviously know why they got to do it, but I guess you fish Boone, South Holston, and all that. And so I mean, all that time.
Yeah, and one thing I'll say is that, I'll say a couple of things. So we're lucky enough to be around some like premier tailwaters, and all tailwater means is that it's a river coming out from below a dam. So South Holston River, Watauga River, below Boone Lake, below Fort Patrick Henry Lake, all tailwaters, right?
Yeah.
So you've got to look at the TVA generation schedule. 99.5% of the time, things go by the rules. They go by what TVA says they're going to do. Always have a backup plan. Always be ready to get out. It every year they make adjustments kind of last minute, and you have to know you have to just kind of be ready for that, to be completely honest with you. And then even in terms of like how to read that. So if you're 4 miles below the dam on the South Holston and they start generating at noon, what time is the water going to hit you?
Yeah.
And for anybody listening, blueridgeguide.org/resources, they have a free map on that website that says, hey, if you're down at Big Springs Boat Launch, it takes 2 hours for the generation to hit. So if they start generating at noon, get the heck out by 2 p.m. and you're going to be safe, you know?
Well, that's one thing I was going to mention that we talked about was, there's an app. You can see when their schedule is, pay attention. We feel like we said earlier that you know, if you don't look at it and you just, it could ruin your day.
Yes.
If you just want to, if you just have some free time and hey, I'm gonna go fly fishing, and then like get down there and oh crap, you know, they're generating or whatever.
Yeah.
But, you know.
And everybody I know who's fished out here. I mean, I've got buddies who have fished out here 30 years and super experienced and everything. You know, to this day, everybody has had a run-in with a high water situation.
Yeah.
I've had several. It's scary when it happens. It happens to everybody, and no matter how experienced you are. So be careful. Always have a backup plan. Always be ready for the water to come up.
That's great advice. So with this, the weather we had, like, you know, kind of the late winter, you know, now we're here in the heat, you know, the lake, some lakes are not fully capacity.
Yeah.
You know, so how does that affect the fly fishing world?
It's very nuanced.
Yeah.
Very nuanced. So like Boone Lake, we had an interesting spring. There's a lot of things that kind of normally set up that didn't quite set up the same way they normally do. Like there's a shad run up the South Hills and Watauga rivers, which was a little bit different this year. The striper fishing was a little bit different this year. Where they took a long time to raise Boone Lake. We actually had amazing carp fishing right here in front of the fly shop for a while. So we went out, and I mean, we were catching a lot of carp, and I mean, me and my I'm gonna say friend, but buddy, or I guess coworker, employee, Jake.
Yeah.
We were going out and testing carp flies out here in front of the fly shop, and I mean, catching the heck out of them.
Well, that's one of the things. It's funny that you mentioned that, because that's one thing that he talked about. You know, carp fly. Like you asked him about carp fly, and he just did. So
we've got a good one.
Yeah.
We've got a good one.
yeah. Well, see, South Holston, you know, it's not, and I don't know if they will get full. You know, it's the lake. You know, I think it's. I want to guess from the eye driving by, it's probably still 8 feet, maybe 10. I don't know. And here we are in July.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know if I have a specific commentary on that. One thing I'll mention is that, you know, leading up to Helene, one thing that I will remind people of is that people were complaining and worried about the rainfall and the lake levels and everything.
Yeah.
And we were in a drought leading up to Helene, and then all of a sudden we almost breached that overflow valve on Watauga.
Yeah.
So I hope things become more predictable, less variable, and I hope that we. Anyway,
maybe you know, you could show us a thing or two sometime and take us, you know, maybe just down here and just show us how to cast and how to work it, man.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to do a little fun thing with you.
Yeah.
It's called rapid fire.
Okay.
It's called hook set decisions. So they might be a little silly.
All right.
But you know,
sounds high pressure.
not really, because you're talking to a guy that plays golf and don't know a damn thing about fishing. So all right, listen. These questions are probably silly to you.
Okay. All right.
So dry fly or streamer?
Streamer.
Okay. Fly tying or fly buying?
Fly tying.
Okay, all right. River or lake?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both is the best answer on
All right.
that one.
Trout or smallmouth?
Trout.
All right. How many casts before you start blaming the fly?
8.
How many casts before you start blaming the fish?
12.
This is supposed to be for him, but how many casts before you start blaming the co-host?
10.
There you go. Oh, man. Boat fishing or bank fishing, or you can say wading.
Wade fishing.
Yeah.
Wade fishing. 100%.
All right. Hook set, all right? Gentle lift or soul snatch?
If you're dry fly fishing, gentle lift. If you're streamer fishing, soul snatch.
All right, last question. Actually, I got 2 more. Beer after fishing or beer during fishing?
Oh boy. If I'm rowing, it's during. And
Okay.
if I'm fishing, it's after.
All right. Last question here. Can I put a minnow on a fly fishing rod?
I typically don't advise it. I'm not a strong proponent, but one thing I will say is that I love learning.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm going to take a minute on this one. So, one of my favorite people in the world is Houston Brown. Houston is a local guy who bait fishes a lot.
Yeah.
He fishes every method. He does a fair amount of bait fishing. He has caught more big fish in this area than anybody will in their lifetime.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's like 25. Insane. And when I say bait fish, he's not just going down and buying a bucket of shiners and doing whatever.
Yeah.
He's going out and he knows creek chub are spawning right now. I'm going to fish a creek chub, or sculpin are spawning right now. I'm going to fish a sculpin. And he's going and catching his own bait. He knows the seasonal cycles and everything else. And I know that fly fishermen have a reputation for being a little snooty, for judging people. Man, I fish every way that I can. I love learning. If I do something, let's say I go bait fish tomorrow night or tonight or whatever, but I learn that there's a big fish in this area, or I learn that there's a big fish that eats something.
Yeah.
I love that. I
Yeah.
just love learning about it.
Yes.
And so I forget what the question even was, but I love minnow.
Yeah.
Minnow on the. So actually, I fished with Houston one. The first time Houston and I fished together, Houston was like, "Hey, let's go fishing together."
Yeah.
And I was like, "You know what? This guy has something that I need to learn."
Yeah.
And a lot of fly fishermen would say, this guy fishes bait, I'm not going to fish with him, or I'm, whatever, put their nose up. And I said, you know what? I'm going to bring my fly rod. I'm going to bring kind of a different rig than I normally would fish, but I'm going to be open to it. And I fished a minnow on a fly rod. And you know what? I caught a couple of fish.
I love it. Yeah.
You know what? The other thing is I fished a worm on a fly rod. There's this whole thing about like Euro nymphing and kind of dead drifting. And it's kind of similar to fishing it'd be like if you're spin fishing a worm with a split shot on a conventional spinning rig.
Yeah.
And I've learned a few things. And you know what? When the fish are up in the riffles and they're taking bugs, you can catch them on a worm and drifting it. You catch a whole lot more on a nymph.
Yeah, yeah.
And when they're kind of like settled down in their holes and that kind of thing, you do the same thing with a worm. You catch more on the worm. But you know what? I figured out the difference. And I'm happy to have done it. You know what I mean?
There you go, man. I'll tell you, the funny thing about the gentle lift or the soul snatch was our buddy, dude, this guy would rip the lips off a fish, wouldn't he? That was, it was kind of, I put that question in there for him, and he would have got it as well, because this dude, man, he would absolutely just jerk the shit out of it. I mean,
dude, I've got a story that I've got to tell real quick.
Okay.
It's my buddies over here who he works in the shop in the winter, but he guides more during the prime season or whatever. So he had a client who came out somewhat this season, and it was the client's first time fishing or whatever. So he says, they get in the parking lot and he's like, let's just warm up and get kind of ready for the day or whatever. And my buddy's holding the fly in his hand, and he has the guy walk 10, 20 feet that way, and he says, all right, now practice setting the hook. Go ahead and pull the rod up and set the hook. And a lot of people, if it's your first time doing it, you don't do it very quick and you don't do it very hard. So he's doing this to try and just get him in the game and get ready for the day,
Yeah.
And the guy kind of does a half-assed lift, and he goes, okay, you're going to need to set it a lot harder than that. And this guy, he'd been on a bachelor party. He was like kind of hungover, and my buddy's kind of, what am I doing today? And this guy just, he kind of like leans forward, grabs the rod with those hands, and just goes, whack, snaps the rod in half in the parking lot.
Oh my goodness.
And my buddy just goes, that's not going to work.
Oh man, dude, that's man, I appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely.
This will probably be out in about a week. Check it out. Tailwaters.
Tailwaters Fly Company.
And here in Bluff City, check them out.
Sounds good.
What's that? Yeah. Oh yeah. It's fun. We'll probably come down here. This is a fun place. They have good beer, and we just love hanging out here. But man, I appreciate you coming on, and thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, great to talk with you.
Yes, sir. Back.
We never left.
But
Not only did we never leave, I was actually hiding back here.
Yep.
When
John with Tailwaters was here, man. That was
great interview, Gene.
That was, dude. that was amazing.
It was so
You
cool.
know,
I enjoyed every bit of it.
You know, it really. I'm not sure how much I would. You know, I just need to try it. But it has got me into. I want to try fly fishing. I want to experience. I want to see how. I want to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
You know, that's.
Well, he is my hero. When he said that he fly fished with a minnow and a night crawler, as if
Dude,
for me, man,
we
he's
are
my
in.
hero.
We're in.
That's right.
But that was pretty awesome interview. That was a little different segment, but
Yeah, and he was excited about catching carp.
yeah. He mentioned the carp fly.
Carp fly.
You know, pretty neat. You
Yeah,
know,
it's. I was tickled to death, man. That was an awesome interview.
very very good. So I guess
Oh, I want to. Can I do my impressions?
yeah.
I've got a couple of impressions.
Okay.
Okay, here's my Geordie LaForge impression. You know who that is?
Who's that?
You all will get it. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Geordie LaForge.
Okay.
Okay, you may do my. And here's my other one. Princess Leia.
I know that one. I do know that one.
That's the only two I know.
Yeah. So thanks, John with Tailwaters, and again, thanks South Fork for letting us up again. But I think
Yeah.
we. Oh, you hear something?
I do.
What is that?
That's the sound we should have rung about 30 minutes ago.
Yep. Beer review.
We didn't have to go far for this.
Got it.
Got it. Yeah,
So this is something different.
this is something different, something we've never tried before.
We're going to review a place called Zool.
A place called Zool. I don't know where it is.
It's in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh,
We've been there a
can
few
imagine.
times. It's the PB&J. It's a famous PB&J.
Really?
It's
I've
pretty
never heard of it.
pretty incredible. So I'm going to
Really?
give a sniff.
Sniff. I bet it's going to smell like peanut butter to me.
So yeah, guys, this is Zool out of Knoxville. You can see it's PB&J. It's got the purple tint.
All right, so yeah, I got to get serious because I've already. You saw us. We already drank one of these.
Yeah, we
earlier.
did drink it, but I don't think we've never reviewed this beer, and I
No.
think we need to give them the shout out for this beer.
Yeah.
It's purple. That's for the grape.
Yep.
You smell it. You smell the peanut butter.
Right off the bat, you smell peanut butter, and then if you stick your nose in it and get wet, you can smell. To me, it smells like Welch's grape juice.
Yeah, it really does. We had this earlier, and
Yeah.
I think that it's you cannot taste the alcohol.
Deja vu.
It's just a easy. It's a good drinking beer. It is sweet, but it's not overpowering.
No.
You can probably drink 2 or 3 of these and not feel on a sugar rush.
Right, not like some of those what is it, milk stouts?
Yeah.
Some of those are really sweet.
Yeah.
And after one of them, you're finished. But
Yeah, that's it.
consider this is our second.
So yeah, we're gonna do this again.
Yeah.
I'll say this is again Zool out of Knoxville,
And it's-
PB&J. It's the famous PB&J.
Yeah, and so
It is clear.
It is-
I mean, it's
it's dark but clear.
Yeah.
It doesn't look
what I mean is there's no haze.
no
There's
haze, no
there's,
cloudiness to it. And it's hard to determine unless you've got a light that you can hold it up to.
right.
But when you do, you can kind of see that there's clarity to it.
Yeah, sure.
So that's
All
pretty
right,
neat.
so let's give it a shot.
Okay.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, buddy. I almost did it again. That is so good.
I mean, it's to come up with this. There's peanut butter beer.
Yeah.
There's probably some kind of grape or some kind of jelly, some kind of beer. But to put these together and get the formula
They got it right.
like this,
Yeah.
it's pretty amazing.
Well, and you talked about how that it's not too sweet.
right.
It's also it's not tart. So it's not like a sour tart.
Right.
It's not like a dry tart. But you can get you've got a little bit of that grape an almost grape peel kind of.
Yeah, I think for me, I think the grape is kind of on the back end. I'll get the peanut butter and then I finish off with the grape. Because I think the peanut butter is what you smell, and of course that's like tricking your brain.
Yeah.
But once you get that in your mouth and the palates, that's when you start tasting the jelly.
So, you're a brewmaster. How do you get peanut butter taste in a beer?
Well, so there's a couple of different ways. Obviously, I don't know how they did this, but the way I do my peanut butter beer is PB2. It's a powder that doesn't have all that additive oils and all this stuff. It's just powder. Okay. And also there's a natural flavoring you can buy, peanut butter flavoring.
Oh wow!
And it's kind of like if you want that peanut butter really to shine through, put that flavoring in the keg or at the end, and it really makes that peanut butter come through.
The other thing too is I had a beer here earlier, and I won't mention its name, but it was a sour, and it was very, to me, spicy. And I say that it wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to be like a desserty kind of thing.
Yeah.
But to me, it burned my tongue.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that was the spiciness of it or the alcohol content.
Yeah.
But this doesn't do that.
No.
And this is so easy to drink. It's kind of scary.
There's, with the grape in there, the concentrate, I'm sure, with the peanut butter, there's not much head to it. Obviously, you will not get much head. Maybe when you first pour, but it's a sour. You're not really going to have that head, and it's just good on you guys.
So this is considered a sour.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's considered like a fruited sour. But
maybe a tad tart, but
I think the tartness, if you throw the peanut butter out and just look at what the other part of the beer is, it's the grape, and it's a sour. So you combine those two, yes, you're gonna, if you think about it, oh yeah, I do taste tart. Nope. Oh yeah, I do taste the grape. So I think it's just depends. It's so weird.
Good mix. I mean, they say that if something's too hot, you can put sugar in it. If it's too sour, you can put sugar. If it's too sweet, you can put sour. Whatever they've done, they've hit it just so much, so right that it's hard to actually pull out the different flavors.
It really is. And the one thing that I do, we did a podcast at their place.
We did.
And the one thing that I wish we could have asked them, we was asking them questions about it, but not directly because we didn't. Obviously, they can't tell us.
Right.
But the one thing I wanted to know was like, how long, did. Well, actually, we may have, how long did it take you to get this recipe right? And they actually kind of said,
I think
not long.
Yeah.
Like,
they got really lucky.
They got really close. And, obviously, when you brew beer, home brewer, you take notes, you put things down. That way you can replicate on the next batch. If you just do it and don't write anything down and it turns out amazing,
yeah.
Like, uh-oh. What am I going to do if I did it right?
If I did it right the first time.
Yeah.
All right. So to me, back to, I have a hard time calling this a beer.
I tell you, let me tell you this. What makes it a beer is the grains.
See, I can't taste any of the.
Because the peanut butter and the jelly are covering all that up.
Yeah.
There's probably very, very little hops. Now,
I could tell if there was hops.
Yeah, you put just a little bit in it. What makes a beer? You got water, grains, hops, and yeast. That's all it is.
Okay. Well, I don't like hops.
Right.
Hops are very bitter, and I don't like them.
Yeah.
They're not a friend.
And that's what's cool about making beer is like you can take the same recipe and but put the hops in a different time. And that beer will change.
Wow.
Yeah, you may let's say you put an ounce of something at the beginning, and then the next time you do it, okay, I'm going to take and put a half ounce, but I'm going to put an ounce at the end. It changes the beer.
See, what I think would be terrible is, like if you did this, and never could replicate it.
Yeah.
You know, if you made something and I don't know, maybe the timing, the humidity, the barometric pressure, the
Which is not
cycle of the moon, I don't know.
Which is not out of the question. It's not a weird way to think because, you know, what about the water?
Yeah.
What about, you know, they're in Knoxville. What about, you know, what if there's chlorine or some, you know, obviously they do testing. They see how, you know, they do testing of the pH because pH is a big thing about brewing too. You got to have a certain pH on brewing beer, but like, what if, you know, Knoxville had a different chemical company or, you know, whatever, you know, just went to.
Well, imagine, but, you know, considering how many home brewers are out there, you know, what if there was just some guy that pulled this off and it was like this, it was perfect and it was beautiful and it tasted wonderful and just never could replicate it. That would be heartbreaking.
Well, I tell you this, that home brewing, I'm not a commercial brewer and it's nothing against anybody else, but I feel like home brewing is very, very difficult.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's...
Well, you worked hard at you know, the beers that you were brewing.
Yeah. Oh,
you
yeah.
always put a lot of time and effort into it.
There's a lot of effort. There's a lot of work. You know, I'm not saying there's not effort. There's not work at the commercial because it's on a bigger scale.
Right.
You know, it's home brewers. You know, we just take our water and put our grains, and hopefully this thing comes out.
Well, you remember, you know, a friend of both of ours, Eric Allen, who we'll put a little shout out to, Studio Brew.
Mm-hmm.
You know, their slogan was, you know, beer is an art.
Beer is an art.
A very tasty art.
Almost a science.
Yeah. And, you know, Eric brewed some fantastic beers. But, you know, it's just hard to compete with some of the bigger players.
It really is. You know, the ones that have something like this and are the ones that's going to compete.
Yeah.
You know, far as financially, you know, maybe the number of breweries they have, but, you know, you've seen how many breweries has come and gone.
Yeah.
But if you hit something like this thing is taking off. This is what's going to get them at the top. It's going to get them in that level.
I think we talked about this too. The distribution was always a problem years ago, and I think so many brewers years ago missed out on having their beers distributed because of some of the legislation.
Oh yeah.
I actually bought 2 cases of Studio Brew root beer.
Okay.
Because to this day, I think it's one of the best beverages I've ever had in my life.
It's really, really good. Kudos to him because it's, you know, I like root beer, but if you take some of this other root beer, it's a little sweet.
Too sweet. Yeah.
You know, if you take the Eric's, you know, it's like
I've still got like two 6-packs.
Nice.
I'm hoarding. I don't know if it ages in the bottle, but
I don't know. Yeah, it's. But yeah, it's we're talking about the breweries that are no longer here. You know, when I go to breweries, I'm trying different things that we may not have here, and a lot of times, dude, I can really tell it's a home brewer on a bigger scale. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
You know, it's because I can kind of tell. It's like, okay, that's good, but it's kind of like just above a home brewer. So.
Well, and too, I mean, you know, here we are at a tap house, and I think too, and I don't mean this to sound bad, but, you know, we've seen a bunch of fly fishermen come in. We're right on the lake. It's real easy for boaters to come in and do their thing, and, you know, it's very relaxed. It's retro. Yeah. It's, you know, crazy lights, and they do funny stuff, and, you know, the food is good, bar food kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But if we looked up there on that screen and there was a $12 beer, I doubt very seriously that they would have trouble knocking it out.
Yeah.
You know, every beer up there $7.
And that's the thing, and it's not on them, but that is the standard now.
It is, and I think, you know, that was. I wouldn't want to pay $12 or $14 for a beer.
No, it's tough to pay that kind of price. $7, man, is really pushing it for me. I am a $5 kind of beer guy.
Yes, I know that for a fact. After we were at the beach, and my bill was $82, and his was $8.
Where
And
were we?
drank the same amount of beer. We were at that sports bar when
Dude, I like that place.
I didn't check the prices, and I'm like, oh, that beer is really nice. Give me another one.
But here's the thing: like, you had a good time.
I did.
and you liked it.
I loved it.
But
it was
it's
really
kind of
good.
like, I'm having a good time. I don't mind paying the extra $2 or $3, whatever it was.
That's all he was paying, $2 or $3
Oh,
for his beer.
you were paying $2 or $3 more than me.
Oh, I was paying triple what you were drinking dishwater that I don't know, like Natural Light or something.
It was actually like, to quote our buddy, because I got him into moonshiners. It's like it was filtered through a polyester couch through a house
They'd
fire.
been through a house fire. Yeah, it was water. He was drinking waters, and they were charging him $1.50 a draft. And apparently, the one I was drinking was $12.
Well, the only thing that's different was he just wasn't. Well,
I wasn't paying attention.
I'm not going to say it. But anyway, all right, we're back on track. We're back, baby.
We never left.
We, Zool, good on it.
Zool,
Go.
great,
We
great
are
beer.
fans.
Yeah, you all have done a great job.
We are actually going to be coming down here in a couple weeks.
Ashley's done a great job too. Yay, Ashley!
But I think we're going to wrap it up. Do you have a closing line?
Yes, I have a closing line finally. I still haven't thought of a closing line. Sorry,
Say yours.
but I just did.
Oh, I missed it.
I said I still haven't thought of a closing line.
All right, so
my closing line.
guys, thank you so much. Thank you, South Fork, for letting us,
thank you, South
coming
Fork.
back. I think this could be a once a month thing, but we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see
if they'll
what
ever let us back.
we'll see what happens. But
We're probably gonna have to wash dishes.
great beer, great food. Nick, thank you so much.
Ashley, thank you so much.
Ashley,
John, thank you so much.
John,
That was a
guys, next
freaking
week
interview.
we're at a pretty cool place. Check out our social media. You will see the updates. I'm not going to give away right here, but check our updates and you'll see where we're at next Thursday. So long. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, guys.
Good night.
Good night.